Guys, how are you? Welcome. Oh my gosh, I love that. So, Jennifer Lee, guys, who jumped on with us, is one of um, my new girls, and she is just a badass. That's all I'm gonna say. She's an awesome person to follow for motivation, for healthy self-talk and stuff like that. So you got to check her out. Anyway, so I am going. Oh, it's recording. Thank you so much. This is why I have the techie guy, because I'm going to mess it up if I don't. So let's start with the agenda so you guys quickly know what we're going to go over. And then we'll get started. So first, I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about me and why I chose vendor events specifically as like my jam. And then I just want to talk about like where I got a lot of the ideas that I have, what your mindset should be when you're doing vendor events, how to set up your table, like how we created our banners, and what kinds of things you should bring to your booth so that you don't show up trucking. Like when I first started, you guys should see all the stuff I brought with me. It was insane. And then what I use for attention grabbers and how I use, like when I represent a one-on-one and when I present AromaTouch. So for some of the people here, I know you have not been AromaTouch certified. That's not your thing, but I'm going to share with you what I do to get people to buy kits. So some of these things you may not have been trained in, you don't use them yourselves, but it might be something to look at, and so that you can get better results in the future. And how and when to follow up with people, and then we'll do some Q&A after that, okay? So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm Nandi Moore, for the people who don't know, because not people who are going to see this are like, who are you? I'm Nandi Moore. I am in Eddie and Angela's organization. Angela is actually one of the first people that I met, and who talked to me about essential oils. And then she introduced me to Missy Garcia, who ended up enrolling me because we were close. At that time, I was living in California. I was not in the beautiful Florida Keys. So I ended up working with Missy directly. And then Missy and Andy moved on to New Zealand. So it's like we're all over the place right now. But I love Eddie and Andy, and they are the ones who really inspired us and actually asked us to share our journey with booths. So we've been with dōTERRA now for 6 years. For the first 2 years, we were mostly just customers. And then I'm going to say for the last 4 years is when we really jumped in. And the last 2, we really went for it, or we really started pushing harder. So that is what brings us here today. I say us because I can't do it without my amazing husband. He is my counterpart and my cheerleader. When he's not playing, he cheers me on, and vice versa. So and he's rolling in. There he is. So, Jason, how do I make it so, because I see can you see me?
Yeah, I've got presenter view.
Okay, so you have presenter view, because I see you over here, and I just wanted to make sure that it's not stuck on you and people actually see me.
You can do gallery view.
Or speaker view. Okay.
So you probably want to do gallery view?
Yeah. Yes. Then I can see people's faces, because I like knowing like when you have a question. Or actually, let's start with ground rules real quick so that we're not here for 2 hours, because I can certainly make that happen. I'm good at that. Please post your questions in the notes so that in the end, when we do Q&A, I can run through them real quick and we can expedite the situation. It is Friday night and some people have families that they really want to get to. So first of all, I want to acknowledge, along with Eddie and Angela, I want to acknowledge the people who I learned about doing booths the right way the first time. The first person that really inspired me in this area was, a lot of you know Tasha Smith, Immerse Sales Training. And she did some awesome trainings on how to do booths. So that's where I got my first introduction to, oh, I am doing it so wrong. And then it was Andy Garcia. He did some things a little bit differently. So I watched how he set up his table and things that he brought in and how they were using kits to improve sales and stuff like that. So those are my two people that really inspired me and helped me clean it up. And then I got some of my own ideas along the way. So they set the ball rolling, and here's where we are today. So I'm going to share with you how it all looks in the end. So the first thing that I want to encourage you guys to do is when you show up to do a booth, you show up with the mindset to sell. Very often we show up at vendor events and stuff like that, and we show up with the mindset, how many leads can I get? And if you show up with the mindset, how many leads can I get? You will get leads, but you're not going to get qualified leads because your focus is on how many names and numbers can I get, and not necessarily are they quality or are they people that I can turn into a sale later on, and or even right there on the spot. So that was one of the first things I had to change, is like, what is my focus? And my focus is always who is going to join my business today and who is going to become a customer of mine today. So when I approach that person or I talk to them, it really is with a confidence that I am there to serve them, and they know it from the very first minute that they show up at my table. Looking professional. So that was something that I guess I was brought up, like when you show up at an event, you try to look your very best, because that is the first impression that somebody gets of you, and they are going to hold that impression no matter how they see you after that. So when they see me at an event, I look the best that I can. In that instance, it's hot as hell in Florida, so I might be wearing shorts and a tank top, but it's a cute pair of shorts and tank top. I always have my makeup on. I kind of have my hair done, even if I have to pull it up, just make it a really cute bun, so that when people meet up with me, it's like I showed up and I made myself presentable for them, and that's how they feel when they meet me. They might meet me for their AromaTouch, and I'm in yoga pants because I'm going to be doing an AromaTouch. So it doesn't matter what I look like then, but their first impression was, okay, she's professional. So make that another thing, because you're showing up with the mindset, I'm there to sell and there to serve, then you also look the part. What's the next thing? Tent and table setup. So that is one of, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys, because this is really important. I'm going to show you how it grew, because I don't want you guys to get stuck with, oh, I don't have the money to have a bunch of kits or extra materials or whatever. So I want to show you, because this is going to save you money, and it's going to save you time, and it's going to save you energy. So this image in particular, can you guys see it clearly on your end? Okay, so this is one of my first tables. And at this table, I did not have the extra funds to carry kits yet. I didn't have extra kits with me that people can walk away with and that I could exchange so here's what I do. I have people sign up at the booth, and I have them now leave with a kit, and then the kit that I order for them gets mailed back to me. So that's what I currently do. But I didn't have that ability to do this at the beginning. So all I did was I just made sure that everything that they would see in front of them is a clear picture of what they would end up with. Okay? And the table was really, really plain, as you can see here. I have my box that these oils get kept in, and I have, the only thing I have extra, the only extra product is Deep Blue Rub, because I use the Deep Blue Rub so that I don't have to go through my expensive Deep Blue oil at the table. I use the Deep Blue Rub for sampling. If somebody says, oh, well, I deal with back pain, I'll put it on them right there at the booth, or I'll give them some Deep Blue that they can put on themselves if they're the discreet kind. So that's the only extra product I have on the table. And then my other extra product that I have on the table is wild orange. Because I use wild orange and peppermint, or wild orange and breathe, in the diffuser. I like using really strong things. The peppermint really takes care of that, so it pops. Wild orange is a really nice, bright, fresh smell. So I always have that in the diffuser. And then when somebody comes to the table, I also do the peppermint and wild orange blaster. And I'm gonna walk you guys in a little bit through my mini class that I do when I do my presentation when somebody shows up. So I have wild orange on there, and I have Deep Blue. Those are only two extra things. And of course, the wild orange is there because I buy the class in a box. And when someone purchases a kit from me, they get a little wild orange as their reward. I don't use the wild orange for invitations to classes and stuff like that. I use it as your reward for buying. Then I also have, this is just the emotions, essential oils and emotions guide, the little yellow one. I used to have the really old one, and now I do the little black, white, and yellow one that's on the table. And that's just so that I have that, and now I have a magazine too. I didn't have magazines at this event. But what I want you to know is this event right here, no kits on the table. I didn't have magazines yet. I really didn't even know my spiel. This exact event, I sold 2 kits at the table that day. So it is possible to, like, you don't need a lot of stuff. The other thing is, these are just candles that I have on the table just to bring something to the table. I used to do fresh flowers too, and that just ended up being, I spilled them and the wind blew them over, and it was just a big old mess. So I was like, okay, what can I go with that is plain, still gets attention? So we did, this banner is something that we decided on, and we brought plants and flowers into that. So it brought some color into the space. So it's not just a plain blah, hey, doTERRA. We wanted to brighten it up a little bit, and then we just made sure that our other colors match around that. So that was the first one. Then these are most recent booths, and I'm gonna get close to, okay. This right here, tent. You don't have to have a super expensive tent. I'm just telling you, if you're going to be doing these things a lot, it is worth it to buy a good quality tent. You can get them on Amazon, and you want to look at event tents or market tents, and they give you these guys. Right here in the middle is a big like support system, so it stays strong. The wind is not going to take it all over the place, and it's going to last you forever. If you take good care of it, it will take care of you. So that's really important. The other thing is, I have a 6-foot table right here. So this is a 10 by 10 tent. You don't have to go 10 by 10, but at least a 6-foot table to give you enough space on your table so that the things are spread out, not too far, but spread out enough that it doesn't feel cramped and busy and people don't know, where should my eye go next? The diffuser, so I always have a diffuser there. If you are at a market where you don't have access to power, in that instance, you can use a battery operated diffuser if you can find or have one. But I usually, most of the markets either have power for us to plug into, or I have an inverter that I plug into my cigarette outlet of my car. That's my Jeep in the background. So I just plug it into the Jeep and run my diffuser and or fans or whatever from there. So my new tricky thing is, do you see this fan in the background? There was no wind at this event, and or if the wind was going, it would blow toward me. So my diffuser was diffusing me and I wasn't getting anything from it. So I put a fan in the back. What are you doing? So I put the diffuser in the back. Don't pass gas. Sorry. Put the diffuser behind you, and that blows the air from the diffuser into the market, and I get people coming in droves. What is that smell? So whatever you can do to pull them to you without being a peddler jumping around in front of the table. Hey, come to my booth. I don't like that. I hang behind the table, and I do non-pressure sales, and people are responding to that really well. So I bring them in with the smell of the oils. And then I have these little cards that I got. I can't even tell you guys, I can't remember who created these little cards. I asked around, and well, yeah. So the source is unknown at this point. I have on here now, like I said, I have at least one home essential kit and one family essential kit. Here's how I started with that. I used places in my organization where I may have needed volume at the end of the month to either hit rank or get my $1,500 bonus or something like that. That is where I placed a kit like this so that I can get a kit in hand. If I'm going to spend the money anyway to buy in, I decided to make it an investment in my business, and that's how I gathered these extra kits. So over the last 8 months, I built up to now having 2 of each. So this is not in everybody's budget, and that's why I wanted to show you guys my first table where I still made sales and I had no kits on the table, so it's not a requirement. It just boosts your opportunity for people who are the kind who like to leave with something in my hand. Many people don't like to give you money if they're walking away with nothing. I am like that too. The only place I do that is online. If I showed up at a market, I wouldn't necessarily buy from somebody and just give them my card and hope that the stuff was eventually going to end up at my house. So that's the only reason why I decided to make that investment. So here's a closer up. So here you can see, now I have the magazine on there. I have one extra of the oil books that go in the kit, so I can show them what that looks like, what their kit will come with. That's the emotions book and the emotions wheel. And these magazines and emotion books is just for, I am so busy right now that I can't talk to somebody yet. And I might say, hey, why don't you leaf through this while I talk to her, and then I would love to talk to you. And it just gives them something to do, and it holds their attention a little bit longer so they don't end up leaving my table. So that is your basic setup. Less is more. Always, always, always. So I think that's all of it. Oh, here you can see it from the top. Everything that you need, which is exactly 10. So the 10 oils, 12, 15 things that all fit in a very small box. I used to come with bags and bags and bags of stuff. Here's the thing with bringing more products. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, well, the Lifelong Vitality Pack is our #1 selling product. Yes, but until you get somebody into a kit of oils, getting them the Lifelong Vitality Pack, it's a hard jump, because I very rarely am able to get someone, unless they go for the Natural Solutions kit, am I able to get them to immediately go buy the kit, add on the Lifelong Vitality and all of that. They're still trying to get over, whoa, it's $275 or $550 or whatever, right? So the goal is get oils in people's hands, and then after that, work on LRP. Do your follow-up so that you can get people what they need there, okay? At least that's how I do it. If you, of course, are welcome to do it with it whatever you want. So let me unshare my screen, stop share. And I'm back, cool. So if you guys are wondering what to do with your convention books, because I'm sure that many of you have at least 4 or 5 of them by now, and it's like, yeah, who takes that many notes in a doTERRA book? So they now have great use. So this one I filled up with contacts already. So I just write the date for the event and all my contacts for that day. A great tip that I kind of figured out along the way was I write down the person's name. I write down something about them. Red hair and freckles. Obnoxious children. Like whatever you have to write down so that you know when you follow up with them, you're like, it was so great to see you and your hubby today. Or it was so great to see you and your kids today, blah, 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 blah. So what happens for them is like, oh, there were so many people there and she remembered me. That was pretty cool. I didn't. I just wrote it down so that I might not remember them at all. I just go by my notes and shove it in the text or shove it in the voicemail. So just be creative with how you connect with people. Then the other thing is I always have my calendar with me, my big ass book. The reason being is I have people who might go right there on the spot and say, I want to meet with you one-on-one. I'm available on Monday. So rather than me going, oh, well, let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you, because right there, I look like I'm not sure. Can I not? It makes them feel unsure. So I grab out my book immediately and get them in the calendar. It's not even a question. It's like, let's make this happen right now. And then there's your person who wants you to follow up with them at a different time. This again is where the notes come in. So I have people who are like, don't call me till after 4th of July. So I make a note, don't call till after 4th of July, because if I call her before 4th of July, I didn't listen to her and she's annoyed. Make sense? Cool. So that is the calendar. So I think I can move on to, let me check my notes here. I think I can move on to, I talked about the table. Oh, the banners and the signage. Please feel free to reach out to us if you guys want access to my banner. I have it printed on Vistaprint. I made it. It has the little doTERRA, what's that sign? That says that, sorry, Jason made it. Jason made it. I didn't make it. He made it. What's that sign, the little R? What's it called?
What?
What's the?
Oh, the copyright.
Copyright. Trademark sign is on there. So if anyone ever comes to you and like, you stole it, no, we didn't. We actually got that from doTERRA's, they have on their website, there's like graphics that you're allowed to use. We grabbed that doTERRA and we used that and just added our own background. So we bought the background, used their image, and printed it on Vista. So it's all cool. So you're welcome to reach out if you like that banner and you want to use it. I don't care. I'll share it with you. Or Jason will share it with you. And then we also have, I know you saw, I don't know if you saw on the table, I have a card that says doTERRA Wellness Advocate. But if you look on the back, I don't always have that on the table, because if you look on the banner, it says the same thing. It says doTERRA, Gifts of the Earth, and in between in print, it says doTERRA or Wellness Advocate. You have to have on your table, required by doTERRA, somewhere it has to say that you are a wellness advocate, so that people know that you are there working as a representative of doTERRA. So that is their role, okay?
Pull the image back up anyway.
Oh yeah, I'll show you.
Oil syntax, and you're going to want to show them
Oil syntax. What?
the order in which you talk about
the
oils,
yes.
from frankincense on.
This is why I have a co-host. Let me grab it real quick. I closed down the web page. There we go. Cool. So you can see the banner again. Share screen. Share screen. There it is. Okay. So see right there in the center, it says Wellness Advocate, Gift of the Earth, doTERRA, and there's the trademark sign in the corner. So it's not loud. This is trademark. It's kind of hidden. It's very subtle, but it's there. So the rules are applied for our safety. So let's talk about syntax. Go down to the bigger picture. Which one? Yeah, I'm getting there. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about syntax and how I talk about the oils and why I have them in this order. So here's your order: frankincense, lemon, lavender, peppermint, melaleuca on the left-hand side. Then you have oregano, On Guard, Breathe, Digestin, and Deep Blue. So when someone shows up at my table, I'm going to walk you real quick through my mini class. So I'll go, hey, so nice to have you today. Can I offer, or so nice to see you today, blah, 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 whatever your hello is, however they show up at the table, and say, can I offer you an energy booster? So even if it's somebody walking past the table and they look over, the minute they draw their attention to me, I draw their attention with, can I offer you an energy booster? Now there's several different, I've heard people say, can I offer you an energy booster, a calmer, or a blah, blah, blah. Too many things I found. I found just going straight with the energy booster works. Or if it's super hot, I'll say, can I offer you a cool down or an energy booster? Because I noticed if I say energy booster or calm down or whatever, people stop and it's like all of their attention is drawn away from me and they're going inside and they're going, huh, do I need energy or do I need to calm down or do I need a blah, blah, blah? And I lost them. So I want to keep their attention with me the whole time and I want to act really fast. So that's when I do the peppermint blaster and I go, so first here we have peppermint. Peppermint is a vasodilator. It opens up the lungs. It supports circulation. And it's just a great way for you to increase your oxygen and boost your energy. Second, we have wild orange. Because essential oils can cross the blood-brain barrier, it's going to hit your happy button right here in your forehead. How about that? And they go, oh, yes, I want happy button. And it's like, oh, they're zombies. They're in. So that is my introduction. And then I'll ask them the question, which could go either way. Do you use essential oils? Can be a yes or a no, and your response is either or based on their response. So first is, if they say, yes, I do use oils, I might ask, what kind of oils do you use? And they'll go, oh, I just use blah, blah, blah from the health food store. My answer, so here's what makes doTERRA different. Their essential oils are certified therapeutic grade, meaning they can be used internally, topically, and aromatically. If you look on the side of your oil bottles, they will probably say do not ingest. So you always want to make sure that whatever oils you use are the kind that you can ingest, and then you know they are safe and pure. And people go, oh, wow. And then that brings us to, so what do you use essential oils for? And then I kind of know where to begin and where to go from there. If they say, no, I don't use essential oils, I say, well, here's why these are the best essential oils on the market. They're the best essential oils on the market because they are certified therapeutic grade. And then I go back into my spiel. So whatever their answer is, I still come back to that exact same spiel, I should say. But how I intro into it is really making sure I have them and I'm meeting their needs. So so I do that, and then I go, okay, so depending on their answer, guess what? No matter what someone says, frankincense is the answer. Because frankincense retails at $92. So your answer is always frankincense. Oh, well, I get headaches. Frankincense. I love frankincense. Here's why. I take it internally. It is a master anti-inflammatory. I combine it with deep blue topically or peppermint or both, depending on how intense the headache is. So I always start with frankincense. I have a skin issue. I have feelings of anxiousness. I have whatever it is. And as you guys know, you can apply frankincense in every situation. If it's a topical skin issue, and let's say, for example, or arthritis. So if somebody comes to you and they say, oh, I have arthritis or I have joint pain or whatever, your first reaction is going to want to be to tell them about deep blue. But I still start with frankincense because I say, okay, so anytime pain is present, usually there's inflammation present, and frankincense really helps with that. And I could love using frankincense and deep blue together, and here's how. So I put on my frankincense, and then I layer frankincense over, and the reason I do that is because frankincense also acts as a conductor. So it makes everything else work even better. So right there, I hit my two most expensive oils on the table. So what happens is when you walk people through, then they start asking about the kits. I can justify it because I'm like, 275, 92 of that is just the frankincense alone, and then you get 9 other oils and a diffuser. How amazing is that? So it really gets them excited then about doing that larger kit because they can see the value in it. So frankincense, then I talk about frankincense, and then I say lemon. Lemon is a very powerful cleanser. It's a great day to do little mini daily detoxes, cleanse the liver and the kidneys. It's also a great topical cleaner because it has disinfecting properties. So I use it in my cleaner or whatever. Then I say lavender. Lavender is calming. Lavender has natural antihistamine properties. It is good for anything that needs calming, whether it be the skin, the emotions, need rest, you name it. Peppermint, you just experienced it. You got that nice little energy boost. You got the lungs all opened up, so you got the increase of air. So you can see where that is valuable. And then, lemon. And then I say, so guess what's cool about these 3 together? Those properties, you put them together in a capsule and you have a natural seasonal support. Because the lavender has antihistamine properties, the lemon is cleansing, and the lavender opens up your breathing way. So you can see how that can be valuable without the drowsy. And they go, oh, wow, that's awesome. Because who doesn't have seasonal problems, right? Especially this time of year. Then I go on to talk about melaleuca and its antibacterial, antimicrobial properties, oregano, and how awesome it is for toenail or fingernail fungus. And then On Guard, and how it's great to boost immunity, and how those 3 together in a capsule gives you a little natural immune booster that you use for 10-day stretches, just like you would after you may have seen your physician. They know what I mean. What do you use for 10-day stretches? And then you have to take breaks in between. I don't have to say it, the word, but they know what I mean. So then I go on to Breathe. Breathe is amazing. It is your natural Vicks Vapor Rub. Anytime you need breathing support, digestion, anything tummy related, gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, acid reflux, you name it. drop on the belly button, up the esophagus, and you're a new person. And then we touched on deep blue because you said you have joint problems, but this is also other ways that you can use it for. So if you were going to choose a kit, which one would you start with? This one right here is 150. It's these little 5 milliliter bottles right here. And this one is 275. It basically comes with the diffuser for free. And it comes with this amazing book that tells you all about the oils. And of course, you have me as your support person. I am on speed dial. Which one would you want to start with? The answer me right there. So I just gave a mini class really quickly. I gave them the value of what was there. Oh, and I said, oh, and by the way, if you're a local, like if they're like, yeah, I'm not really sure. I go, oh, and you know that wild orange that you tried? You get a bottle of that from me. And if you're a local, stop by my house sometime and get a free AromaTouch treatment. So what happened for them is like, I just got a $50 diffuser. Let's talk about the Home Essential Kit, right? I got a free $50 diffuser. I got a free wild orange oil, and I get an AromaTouch treatment that if I paid for a massage, I'd probably spend 50 to 100 bucks. This is awesome. I'm in. So that's why I like AromaTouch. I don't always throw it, but I use it as my upsell. It's 30 minutes of my life. I do it when I do their wellness consult, when I do their follow-up, and it's no skin off my back because I want to meet with them in person anyway when I do the wellness consult if it's somebody who I'm meeting in person. But somebody out of town, then of course it's just our one-on-one wellness consult. So sometimes people aren't ready to go to talk right there on the spot. And then that's when I pull out my calendar and I say, okay, so when would be a good time for us to talk? And we can go over your personal goals and your personal needs. It's a little busy year right now, and I'm sure there's some things you probably want to tell me that you don't want to tell people in public. So let's do that on our own time. And they go, oh, that would be wonderful. Let's do that. So you leave it open for them and you don't be pushy. But I try to do it on the spot. If they're not open for that, I go for the one-on-one. If they're still kind of wavering, then I throw in all of the things that they would get extra love from me. So that is that for the mini class. Jason, did I leave anything out that you can think of?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, cool.
But I did post the banner doc file in the chat for people to download.
Awesome. You are a badass. Thank you. Mini one-on-one, attention, asking for the sale. So AromaTouch versus one-on-one, like I just said to you guys, I use the AromaTouch really as my, come on, pulling them in. Like I can't get you, but I'm gonna get you somehow or another. So what I do then is I say, so if I really have somebody who's resistant, I'll say, come experience a one-on-one, come experience an AromaTouch treatment, and then you can make an educated decision. What did I just tell them? I just told them if they don't come get an AromaTouch, they are uneducated. So, and nobody wants to be uneducated. We all are like, screw you, I'm educated. I'm going to be there because I want to prove you wrong. And I usually win because they get off the table, slither off the table, and they're like, give me the biggest kit you got. So really, use whatever tools you have, always have them available so that you can use them in times like this. So following up, I shared about that a little bit, but my follow-up is definitely writing down things about them so you can remember who they are, do it as soon as possible. One of my new things that I've started doing is writing down not just people's first name. I used to take their first name and their phone number. Now I do first and last name as it's listed on Facebook. And I ask them what their profile picture looks like if we don't have time to do it right there on the spot, if it's a little too busy. I say, you're going to get a friend request from me. This is what my picture looks like. It's me and my bearded husband, and it's non-DB more. So please make sure you accept my friend request because I would love to stay in touch with you. I do Facebook because people, I notice when they see your face, it's a constant reminder. Even if they don't buy right away, I've had people message me months down the line and say, so you talked to me about oils at that booth in Key West in March, and I ran into somebody the other day and they talked to me about it, but you talked to me about it first, and I would really love to talk to you about it again. So because they're constantly seeing me on Facebook, I'm a constant reminder of I took really care of them at that time. So I'm going to be the person that they more than likely would want to buy from. And the only way these days to really stay in front of people constantly is obviously through social media. So I use Facebook to my advantage for that. Recently, a lot of people are not on Facebook anymore. People are closing down their accounts because they got scared with all the stuff that happened recently. So for that, I just make sure I have a separate list that I move those names onto so that I know, oh, in another month or so, I might follow up with them again and just say, hey, how are you doing? I'm just checking in, seeing how you're doing. When will you be back down to the Keys again? Da, 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 da. Or when will you be back in town again? Or we have another event coming up. Come see me at such and such a market. Because you wrote down which market you met them at. So then you can retouch base with them and say, hey, just so you know, we have another fruit and vegetable blah, blah, blah fair thingy going on, or the police is putting on a mango fest, or blah, blah, blah. We're going to be there. Please make sure you come see us. And that gets them, first of all, it gets them out the door. It gets them outside because I already know they're market people, right? It's a certain kind of person that goes to markets. Not everybody's big on it. So that kind of person actually would love to hear, oh, there's another market going on. So I'm going to make sure I'm there. So you did them a service because you told them about something they maybe didn't know about. And then they're going to excited. They're going to come looking for you and they're going to say, hey, I'm here. Thank you so much for the invite. And then that gets us back into the game of conversation. So how and when to follow up? I follow up at least 3 times. If that person after the 3rd time clearly is ignoring my communication, so I'll send a text message, I'll call and leave a voicemail, and I might send another text message. If I don't hear from them at all, I'll give them a break for a couple weeks, and then I'll try again. And then they'll go into my stored file, and I might get back with them a month later. And say, hey, I'm just checking in. Remember we met at blah, 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 da, da, da. And I might say something again about that time when I saw them at the booth. Because remember, I have notes. They have annoying children. So I write all that down. So that follow-up, and I'm done. Yes, my timing is really good tonight. Okay, let's see Q&A. This is why you have an assistant. But I am going to ask you guys to unmute yourself if you have a question straight up for me now. That maybe something came to mind. Anyone?
Me. Hi. Hold on. Sorry. Stephanie.
Hey, Steph.
Hi. Sorry. I'm cooking dinner and listening to you. So, thank you so much again for all your advice.
Oh, of course.
But here's the thing. I'm trying to live like a simpler life, right? And all that extra like paperwork and magazines and all that stuff. So when you get the class in a box, right? I was getting that, but then I just felt like I had too much extra stuff. So what do you do with it?
Oh, so the materials,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wasn't clear about that. So their enrollment gift is the wild orange, a magazine, and they get that flyer because it gives them an overview again of oils, why oils, where oils from, all of that jazz.
Okay.
And they may even see, even though they didn't buy the larger kit, I've had people go to me and said, oh, well, this bigger kit, I see it has like, what's that right there? Or what is this? Or what is this? Because it's all listed out. And that might get them excited about putting something on their LRP. Oh, we lost her. Oh, there she is. Okay. So it might get them, it's okay. It might get them excited about putting some of those things on their LRP that they see on the larger kits that they didn't see because I didn't even show them that. So it's just an extra thing. You're muted, babe.
Okay. So I get it now. Thank you. Because I was just kind of like, oh, I'm decluttering my life and then I don't want to.
Well, that's why I like the class in the box. I don't do any other printed material. It comes in the box. When those 10 are gone, I get 10 more. And that's it. And then what's nice is too, is when I don't have kits, this I didn't add to the class. When I don't have kits on hand and somebody places their order and I can give them a wild orange and a magazine to leave with, they're like, oh, okay, I didn't leave it. This is awesome. And they walk away. They immediately open their wild orange and they're like sniffing it all through the market. I'm watching them sharing with people and stuff. So that way they don't feel like they left empty-handed too.
Okay, love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Yes.
So I was actually able to get a family physician's kit with my LRP points. So yeah, so that was cool. So I have that ready. So in case anybody has like LRP points, they could cash that in. You know, that'll help you get, you know, a kit on the table. Right. Just if you don't have the finances for it.
Did you do the family physician kit or the enrollment kit?
No, I only did the family physician kit just so I can have it like on the table because I didn't have unless I'm missing something, but like on my end, I don't think, can I get an enrollment kit like through my account? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So
or if you're placing a downline or whatever, that's okay though, because I just had one of those on the table. And then what I did for a bit, and this is like, you upgrade. It's this Rome wasn't built in a day, even though we would like for it to. Right. But what I would do is I just would use my points then and get a bunch of the On Guard and peppermint beadlets so that I have those. And that's how I got started. I would just make sure I gave them a wild orange and peppermint beadlet after the fact for their one-on-one, or I would mail it to them or whatever. Yeah. So they still got everything that they're supposed to get. It just didn't come in the fancy box. Right. So then later on, I invested in an actual enrollment kit. So I also have the books and all of that. So it's just, cool. You like start with what you can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted it to be on the table.
Yes, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, thank
Good
you.
stuff. You're welcome.
You have a question from Julia.
Julia. Oh. Julia, she can open her line too. Do you purchase and go through the Live Guide for their wellness consult? Yes. So the Live Guide, I'm not using it as consistently as I should. But yes, when I have a in-person one-on-one consult, I do use the Live Guide because it's a great way to get people, like really get people in touch with their pain, because it has that section where it's like, what do you want to feel more of? What do you want to feel less of? Like all that stuff. So it is an opportunity to really dig into their pain and have them see it in front of them. So yes, Julia, I do that. Anyone else? Jen.
Hi.
Go. Hi.
So just walk me through the steps on how do you have the kits that are on the table, then they walk away with that kit, and then you enroll them as a customer, and then how do you get that kit back to you? Like,
so yes. And this is where you're not doing this enrollment while your 3-year-old is tugging on your skirt. because you're gonna screw it up. I have. And then the kit is gonna ship to that person. And then you have to figure out how to get it back. And it's good times. So you do the enrollment as normal. At the end, where it says where you have to put in the credit card, you put in the credit card, and then it shows you what is the shipping address and the credit card that's going to be charged.
So it's their credit card, but you're shipping
their credit card, and then you can edit the shipping address right there at that point.
Okay.
So in the beginning, you start with putting their information in there. And then that final one is just going to be, that's just going to be specifically for the package shipping. That way you have the right address stored in their personal information in their back office.
Got it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Going once. Going twice. And I think we're done. Any other questions on your end you see typed? Okay, cool. Great. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for allowing me to do this for you. I love sharing. I love how everyone loves sharing their little tips and tricks and stuff that they learn, and that we're not a group of hoarders. So I love being able to be one of those people that can share some of my magic juices with you. And if you have any questions for either myself or Jason in the future, you get stumped at a booth, somebody asks a question and you don't really know, okay, how do I work around this in the future? Please feel free to message us on Facebook and we can help out. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a good night. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Night.